Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 9 p.m. English news edition brought to you live from RTD channel. The top stories of tonight are: the National Disability Week concluded with a celebration highlighting inclusion and the achievement of persons with specific needs. On the international scene in Gaza and the West Bank, drone strikes in Al-Mawazi hospital left several dead, while Hamas called for international action. Welcome back in our newsroom. We begin tonight's news with the International Day of Persons with Specific Needs. Under the high patronage of the President of the Republic, President Ismail Omar Guelleh, the National Agency for Persons with Special Needs organized this morning at People's Palace the celebration of the International Day of Persons with Specific Needs, coincided with the closing of the National Disability Week, held under the theme Promoting Inclusive Societies for Persons with disabilities to foster social progress. The ceremony highlighted the importance of inclusion as a driver of development and social cohesion. This year theme reflects the country's growing commitment to persons with specific needs and aligns with the Sustainable Development Goals.
وأقوى أبقلي ورعتكينا هايستيو وريا هنده جيبناي وأقوى أبقلي يلكي إنا غروغي وأقوى أبقلي ورعتكينا هايستيو وريا هنده جيبناي وأقوى أبقلي.
Head of Government, President Ismail Omar Guelleh was welcomed by Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed and the Director of the National Agency for Persons with Disabilities, Douali Saeed Mahmoud. During his visit to the various cultural stands at the People's Palace, the President of the Republic was able to witness the talents and initiatives of persons with specific needs, demonstrating their active contribution to the country's cultural and social life. This event reaffirms, let's not forget, the state's commitment to promoting inclusion and ensuring that every citizen has the opportunity to fully realize their potential. It also highlights the importance of collective participation in building a more just, equitable and supportive society.
aan gaboobayn baan guudkaaga saare geesigii afriikow garashiyo aqoonta lahaa uluhu ha kula jiro uluhu ha kula jiro uluhu ha kula jiro uluhu ha kula jiro geesigii afriikow garashiyo aqoonta lahaa uluhu ha kula jiro uluhu ha kula jiro uluhu ha kula jiro uluhu ha kula jiro geesigii afriikow garashiyo aqoonta lahaa uluhu ha kula jiro uluhu ha kula jiro uluhu ha kula jiro uluhu ha kula jiro geesigii afriikow garashiyo aqoonta lahaa uluhu ha kula jiro uluhu ha kula jiro uluhu ha kula jiro.
The International Day of Persons with Disabilities was marked by a ceremony featuring artistic performances, including sketches and songs highlighting the significant progress made by the country in the inclusion of persons with specific needs. In addition to the President of the Republic, the event was attended by several government officials, including Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, the Speaker of Parliament, Dilaita Mohammed Dilaita, members of Parliament, the Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, General of Army Corps, Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, the United Nations resident coordinator in Djibouti, as well as a representative of the diplomatic and military corps accredited in the country. Numerous associations, civil society representative, and private sector also participated in this International Day for Persons with Disabilities. Several dignitaries spoke to highlight Djibouti's major achievement in social and economic inclusion of persons with the specific needs, emphasizing the importance of their full participation in national life. The theme of the day underscores the crucial importance of inclusion and diversity in the Republic of Djibouti and reflects the country's commitment to achieving the sustainable development goals.
Rasulka tatnan koy mana bla kok sarra
وتمامي تنور ظلامي
مديدك للمعاق بكل بسمة وإخلاق
nolosha beretamay barbarkoogi wadaan maadko barashiya cilmibeele dadkii bahida gaarka ah lahayo xaqooga soo ifbaxay haddii beri laga baqay boqorku qofku ku sii runuu barkaayahaye haddii dawa laga bexe bulshooyadiguna habaylin beri ayuu bare noqon karaaye haddii beri laga baqay boqorku qofku ku sii runuu barkaayahaye haddii dawa laga bexe bulshooyadiguna habaylin beri ayuu bare noqon karaaye
Starting the series of speeches, the representative of persons with specific needs employed within the general administration did not fail to express his gratitude to the government for the opportunities provided, emphasizing the importance of such initiatives for personal inclusion and the recognition of the skills of persons with disabilities. He also called for the continuation and strengthening of this effort to ensure that more citizens can benefit from an accessible and inclusive work environment. For his part, the head of mission of the International Organization for Migration in Djibouti addressed the audience to commend the government's ongoing efforts toward the social and professional inclusion of persons with disabilities. She emphasized the importance of promoting equal opportunities and accessibility across all sectors of society, highlighting the critical role of international cooperation and partnership with local stakeholders in strengthening these initiatives. She also encouraged the implementation of innovative programs aimed at empowering persons with specific needs and ensuring their full participation in the social, economic, and cultural life in the country. And now we turn to the statement of the Director General of ANPH, Doual Saeed Mahmoud. In his intervention, he expressed his deep gratitude to the President of the Republic for his commitment and unwavering support for persons with disabilities and his commitment to their social and economic inclusion. He highlighted the various initiatives undertaken by the agency over recent years, particularly in the fields of education, employment, accessibility, and public awareness. He emphasized that these efforts have strengthened the autonomy of persons with the specific needs and facilitated their active participation in national life. Mr. Mahmoud also called for the continuation and expansion of this inclusion program, strengthening the importance of collaboration between the government, association, the private sector, and the international community to build a truly inclusive and supportive society. The President of the Republic, who presided over the ceremony, said that the country has made important progress since the agency was created. Coming up, the speech of the President of the Republic.
Mesdames et Messieurs En célébrant chaque année la Semaine nationale du handicap,
By celebrating National Disability Week each year, we want to reaffirm a conviction that lies at every heart of our Republican Pact, the conviction that a nation can only move forward by fully integrating each of its children without distinction, exclusion, or prejudice. This is why we must understand the organizations of this National Week as a moment of trust, a moment when we hold up a mirror to our society to measure and evaluate our capacity for inclusion and our sense of social justice. Allow me first to reiterate, or rather repeat here forcefully, what we should be self-evident. Disability is neither a flaw nor a weakness. It can certainly create vulnerabilities, but it does not diminish the potential, the value, or the dignity of those who live with it. Therefore, our responsibility is to adapt society to disability and not the other way around. Since the creation of National Agency for Persons with Disability, our country has taken major steps forward. We have elevated the issue of disability to a national priority. It is within this framework that we ratify the African Charter on the Rights of the Person with Disabilities. Through this act, Djibouti joined the nations of the continent that place the dignity, protection, and civic participation of persons with disabilities at the heart of their priorities. It is this vision that we have consolidated with the implementation of the National Disability Strategy 2021-2025, structured around three pillars: improving living conditions, access to livelihoods, and finally building an inclusive society. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, disability is not a uniform reality. It can be physical, sensory, mental, psychological, psychomotor, or invisible. This diversity requires adapted and differentiated public policy capable of meeting the plurality of needs. I commend the remarkable investigative and statistical work that enabled the National Agency to identify and categorize the various disabilities affecting our fellow citizens. For its part, and to reinforce its commitment, the government established the Disability Support Fund. This has financed equipment and major interventions as well as targeted support for the most vulnerable families.
Moving on now to the second part of the President of the Republic address.
il va de soi, mesdames et messieurs, que la prise en charge des aspects sanitaires et humanitaires
Goes without saying that addressing health and humanitarian needs is necessary but not sufficient to achieve the goal of socio-economic inclusion we aspire to. That's why we are emphasizing professional integration through skills training, partnerships, and support for self-employment. Our objective is to gradually shift from a logic of assistance to one of empowerment, contribution, and participation. The initial results of this policy are more than encouraging. The most compelling example of this success is undoubtedly the emergence of the first graduating class of visually impaired high school students last year, but also the creation of 150 budget positions reserved for people with disability in the civil services. This commitment reflects our deep convictions that people with disability have a rightful place in the administration, in public decision-making, and in service to the nations. Ladies and gentlemen, this achievement and gains must not make us forget the road that still lies ahead on the path to the full and non-discriminatory inclusion of our fellow citizens with disability. This 7th National Week was an interactive moment of dialogue and consultation. It surely allowed you to share the experiences of institutions, associations, the private sector, and technical and financial partners. As such, it constitutes an appeal to a new 10-year strategy within the framework of inclusion and integrative public policies. Ladies and gentlemen, in closing, I would like to end with these messages of hope and optimism for our fellow citizens with disability. Dear fellow citizens, the nation sees you, the nation hears you, the nation supports you. Your struggle is our struggle. Your dignity is our dignity. Know that you are not alone and that you will never be left behind. Thank you for your attention.
Speaking in Somali, the president of the Republican head of government, President Ismail Omar Guelleh, stated that on this solemn day he wished to pay tribute to the National Agency for Persons with Specific Needs, emphasizing that the progress achieved was now visible to all and could no longer be ignored. He explained that the nation could finally see the men and women who had long been hidden, whose existence had been silenced, and even those whose name and identities had been taken from them, a situation he stressed was no longer acceptable. The president affirmed that considering a person with a disability as someone who must remain at home was equivalent to denying them the rights to a full life, stripping them of their dignity, and betraying the collective humanity of the nation. The president reiterated his rejection of indifference, invisibility, and injustice, recalling that every person, regardless of their condition, has the right to life, recognition, citizenship, and participation in society. The president highlighted that everyone counts and that no one should be left behind. The president said that ignoring the problem makes everyone complicit, but embracing unity and respect can create a stronger, fairer, and more human nation. The president added that the nation has the necessary means and that the land of the country is generous enough to meet the needs of its people. He called for thanks for peace and stability to become action, for faith to be shown through compassion, and for the country's success to be judged by how it cares for the long forgotten. He reminded everyone that a nation is judged not by its riches, but its care for the most vulnerable people. He finally reaffirmed that this citizen matters, that they exist and they belong fully to their homeland, before wishing everyone a happy celebration.
inuuna unagu filan yahay dadkeennana annagaa soo saarayna ciid wanaagsan maalin wanaagsan jumco mubaaraka assalaamu calaykum
The International Day of Persons with Disabilities celebration culminated in the awarding of prizes by the President Ismail Omar Guelleh. The winners were honored with the cash prizes in recognition of their outstanding achievement. The first prize, accompanied by a check of 3 million Djibouti francs, was awarded to Muhammad Ali Shahem, writer, author of a distinguished book. The second prize, valued of 2 million Djibouti francs, went to Amina Ali Mohammed. And finally, the third prize was presented to the Buruj Association for its dedication to supporting persons with disabilities. The award ceremony also marked the closing of the 7th National Week for Persons with Specific Needs, which highlighted initiatives aimed at improving living conditions and fostering the inclusion of persons with disabilities. Moving on now to the next story. The Minister of Interior, Saeed Nur Hassan, presided today at the Idris Farah Abbani National Police over the graduation ceremony of the 23rd training cohort of Somali police officer. The course was conducted under the joint supervision of the Djiboutian National Police and the Italian Carabinieri. The event began with a parade of units reviewed by the Minister of Interior, accompanied by the Director General of the National Police, Colonel Abdurrahman Ali Kahin, and General Asad Osman Abdallah, Commander of the Somali Police Force.
isku wada diro dadkeenu adeegsada
See on the images, the Minister of the Interior, Said Nuh, was welcomed by the Director General of the National Police. Let's not forget that the 3-week training program aimed to strengthen the operational capacity of Somali police officers, enabling them to enforce the law, protect individuals and property, and ensure overall public security. The curriculum included key areas such as personal and property protection, VIP security, crisis management, and public order restoration. This initiative reflects Djibouti's unwavering commitment, government and people alike, under the leadership of President Ismail Omar Guelleh, for efforts to restore security and stability in Somalia. The training also emphasized respect for human rights, adherence to international criminal justice standards, and the use of modern techniques and advanced tools to help build lasting peace and stability in this broadly and friendly nation, Somalia.
Soomaalidu damaciyo doqonimo ma qaadatee dulmiga sawtii nacbayd addoonsiga horay u diiday dagaalada sokeeyo.
And thereafter, the ceremony began with an impressive field demonstration showcasing the skills acquired by the trainees during their 3 months intensive training program. The graduating cohort executed with high professionalism a series of tactical exercises, including the arrest of terrorists traveling in a vehicle, the neutralization of 2 armed individuals barricaded inside a home, and the management and dispersal of violent demonstration. This final demonstration allowed the trainees to put into practice the knowledge and techniques that they had learned, reflecting their rapid progress and their ability to respond effectively to complex operational scenarios. Authorities in attendance expressed great admiration for the advanced level displayed, noting that this achievement marked a crucial step toward integrating these young officers into the operational units of the National Police. Thanks to the continued commitment of the Miadit mission, efforts to professionalize Somali security forces, strengthen national institutions, and reinforce the long-standing ties of friendship and cooperation between Somalia and Italy are moving forward. This diverse and highly precise field exercise highlight the quality of instruction provided and the high level of operational readiness reached by the trainees. And at the conclusion of the event, the new Somali cohort received their graduation certificates from the attending officials, marking their official integration into the ranks of the operational police forces.
Questa giornata conclude un percorso.
In his address, the commander of the Somali National Police, Asad Osman Abdullahi, Commander Abdullahi first of all expressed his deep gratitude to the Republic of Djibouti for hosting this training program and for the warm reception extended to him and his delegation since their arrival. He stressed that this hospitality reflects the strong partnership between Djibouti and Somalia, two brotherly nations. The Somali Peace The Somali police commander recalled that the Darawish force now represents one of the key units deployed by the federal government to restore stability and combat insecurity across the country. He also praised the operational capacities of the various cohorts of the federal police officers trained in Djibouti, highlighting the concrete impacts of this program on the ground. In conclusion, Commander Abdullahi encouraged the trainees to leverage the knowledge and skills they had acquired to face future security challenges with confidence, to act as defenders of the law, and to maintain the highest standards of discipline and professionalism. He further urged them to keep fostering strong ties of cooperation and partnership between the two countries. And in turn, the Director General of the National Police of Djibouti, Abdurrahman Ali Kahin, expressed his great pride on the occasion of the graduation of the 23rd Somali Police cohort. He emphasized that the weeks of intensive training had allowed the trainees to strengthen their operational skills, master techniques for maintaining public order, protect individuals and property, and uphold human rights and international policing standards. He noted that the high level of disciplines and professionalism demonstrated during the final exercises clearly reflects their readiness to serve their country with rigor and efficiency. The Director General also recalled that Djibouti, under the leadership of President Ismail Omar Guelleh, remains fully committed to supporting Somalia in its effort to restore security and strengthen stability. Finally, the Director General for the National Police of Djibouti urged the young officers to build on the experience gained, to serve as models of respect and integrity, and to contribute to the ongoing strengthening of historical cooperation between the two friendly and brotherly countries, Somalia and Djibouti. And after the ceremony, the officials were led to the Academy's VIP lounge for a lunch break, providing an opportunity for informal interactions and networking among participants and delegations leaders. The event also featured a gift exchange symbolizing cooperation and friendship between the participating countries, along with a musical performance by the Gourmet group, adding a cultural and festive touch to the occasion.
Soomaaliya hadal ducee dhaqaale walaalnimaa ka yimid qalbi daacadiyo dabuub waana dhegeyso dabuub waana dhegeyso dabuub waana dhegeyso dabuub waana dhegeyso
Moving on now to other story. During a surveillance patrol in the Balbala neighborhood, gendarmes from the PK-12 North Brigade seized 2 trucks carrying goods parked near a warehouse in Sheikh Moussa. Upon inspecting the cargo, it was found that the trucks contain expired sugar bags originally intended for destruction but diverted from their disposal site. This product were about to be secretly stored and resold on the local market, even though they were unsafe for consumption. Given the seriousness of the situation, the 2 drivers were immediately taken into custody, and the trucks along with their cargo were seized by the brigade. Subsequently, agents from the National Food Analysis Laboratory, known as LANA, conducted a thorough test confirming that the goods were hazardous and unfit for consumption. And let's recall that on December the 2nd, 2025, in the morning at 10 a.m., the individuals involved were brought before the courts and were sent to the Gabod civil prison. Turning now to the world news, on the 55th day of the Gaza ceasefire, 5 Palestinians, including 2 children, were killed by Israeli drone strikes targeting displaced persons' tents in Al-Mawazi near Khan Yunis. Israeli forces also continued demolition of residential buildings in Gaza City, Al-Tufah neighborhood. Hamas called on mediators and guarantor states to intervene to stop Israeli violation and ensure compliance with the ceasefire, urging international courts to investigate the burial and abandonment of Palestinian bodies in Gaza Strip. Leaders of the 6th Gulf Cooperation Council, known as GCC, countries met in Manama, Bahrain, for their annual summit focusing on regional security and economic cooperation. This was the first full meeting of leaders since the Israeli raid targeted Hamas officials in Qatar last September, underscoring the importance of security discussions. In their final statement, JCC members reaffirmed the principles of collective security, declaring that any threat to a member state is considered a threat to the entire Council. So that's it for the news. Thanks for being with us and have a good day.